your viewing pleasure if you want. All right, and then I'm going to share my screen. So if you can see my screen, can you say hi in the chat? Say hi to everybody. So I want to. Hello.
Hi.
Awesome. Good to hear some voices. Awesome. Sometimes it's usually just me talking. So Ulysses, Isabel, Kalia, Briseda, thank you. And I know I heard from Sherlyn there and Frankie. Shayna's just joining us. All right, here we go. Shayna, hi. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go over into my student account. And so this is what you guys see when you log in. And you can see that our new assignment this week is called A Big Thanks. And this is actually, Lily, you need to wait. This is something that I do every year with students, and it looks a little bit different this year, but it's always the last assignment that I do in ELA. And that is we write thank you notes. And so the way that it's going to work is write one thank you note every day. So write one today to somebody, write one tomorrow, write one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you do not need to send me these thank you notes. They are between you and the person you're thanking. Okay, so how am I going to know if you do it or not? I'm not. All right, and that's just the honor system. I trust you. I believe you. And I also think that you will agree that being thankful is important. So what I do want from you, though, is just type up a list of who you sent your notes to. So on Monday, you sent it to a teacher. On Tuesday, you sent one to your father. On Wednesday, you sent one to your coach. And you don't have to have specific names on there. If you want to just have titles, that's fine too. But just that is what you'll churn. Lily, I'm on a call. You need to wait. You need to wait. You'll make a list of the 5 people or their titles of who you sent the notes to. They don't need to be long notes, but you should do your best writing. There's a reason why we learn good writing, and it's not just for a grade in 7th grade ELA. It's because it makes people appreciate your words. And so I want you to, if you can, try to include some of what we learned this year about good writing, right? So try to use some figurative language, use your literary devices. Can you fit in a metaphor or a simile, personification, hyperbole, or any of the others that we've talked about? Try to mix up your sentence structure so you don't just have a bunch of short sentences or even a bunch of long sentences. So mix it up. Because remember, writing has rhythm. It has a beat, and you can make that beat come alive. Okay? So 5 different thank you notes, one every day, and you'll turn into me on Friday who you sent those notes to. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second, and if you have any questions, you can type those questions in the chat, or you can turn on your microphone and ask me real quick. Okay, so I'm not hearing any questions about the ELA assignment. All right, so I will move on to the social studies assignment. In this video, by the way, of course, I post videos every week. This goes over that information as well. And you can also get to the videos by clicking the video tab up here. And this takes you to YouTube refused to connect. Okay, so I would just open up a new tab then and search YouTube Mr. Kilgren. And my YouTube channel page will show up, and all of the videos are there as well. And so there's the instructions, a big thanks instructions. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to Washington State history, and the new assignment this week is called Civic Revolution. Civic means city, community. All right. And revolution means a big change. And so the idea of this is, what's a big change that you would want to bring to Union Gap? Or if you live in a different town, you live in Sunnyside or Yakima or whatever, then that would be your focus. So the idea here is you come up with a presentation that you would theoretically be showing the city council. You do not need to actually show it to the city council. I have had students do that in the past, but you don't need to. But it's just, that's kind of the pretend hypothetical situation. And so you're going to come up with some sort of presentation. You can do PowerPoint, poster, video, whatever you want. And you're going to convince people that your idea is a good idea. So this is persuasive. It's not writing, so it's not a persuasive paper, but it's the same persuasive process. Sounded like my house for a while, some crying. All right. Same persuasive process. So you want to have reasons why your idea is a good idea. You should go get some evidence. Where are you going to get evidence? Go online. You know, why should we have a program where we provide socks to homeless people? Well, you go online, you find some evidence, and it turns out like socks are one of the most needed items of clothing for people that are experiencing homelessness. And you could cite it using a website and author and title. So you want to have some evidence. Who's going to disagree with you? And you want to try to convince them. And so you want to reference, well, some people say that giving out socks to homeless people is a bad idea because it encourages more people experiencing homelessness to come to Union Gap. That's wrong, though, because say you have that rebuttal in there. So recognize the opposition and then have that rebuttal. Come up with a list of questions. So imagine you're actually presenting to somebody. What kind of questions might they ask you? And then what would your answers be? Costs. How much is your program going to cost? You can estimate here. I'm not expecting you to have exact numbers, but you can just get online and say, let's go with the sock example. So I look up how much is a pair of socks? Okay, $2.99, and I want to have 100 pairs of socks. So this program is going to cost me $300. And then everyone's going to volunteer, so I don't actually have to pay anybody. So the total cost is $300, maybe plus advertising, so $500. And I'm just estimating, okay? And then an action plan. So an action plan is the actual steps that you would need to take. So using our sock example, you would go out and first convince the city council it's the right idea, get their approval, go buy the socks, advertise the program, hand out the socks, and then maybe your last step is assess and see if it was a good idea or not. So you can type all this up again in Microsoft Word. You can do PowerPoint, you can do a video, you can do a poster, however you want to do it. But you're coming up with an idea to change your town for the better, of course. Okay. Oops, I accidentally opened up the wrong program. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a moment now. And again, if you have questions, you can ask them. Do you have any questions about the social studies assignment? No? Okay. So watching the videos is a good idea. So if you have questions, I would watch the video first, reread the instructions. And then if those don't answer your questions, you can always send me a chat and I will get back to you. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to go over today, guys, is grades. Okay, so what do you need to have to pass history? That's the real one that we're really worried about, is Washington State history. And I think the answer it's not that much. You need to have a 60% or higher. Okay, a 60%. So it's not that high of a threshold. Obviously, I'm looking at the faces here of who's on this call, and I know each and every single one of you could get more than 60%. So I would encourage you, one second. FedEx is here. Okay. So I would encourage you to shoot for higher, but all you need to have to pass Washington State history and get that credit is a 60%. So as you're getting on to Skyward, be looking for that. If you have less than 60%, you're going to have an incomplete. And this means you will have to make up your missing work next year. Okay, or if you move districts, let's say you move into Yakima, you will not get credit for this course and you will have to retake it in high school. Okay, it's that serious. This is not a joke. Washington State history is a high school requirement. You are taking a high school class. You have to pass it or you retake it. Okay, so I really want you guys to focus in on getting your percentage above 60% in Skyward so that each of you can pass this course and not have to retake it. Now with ELA, obviously, we want everyone to have a passing grade as well. Again, a passing grade is 60%. And if you get a no credit, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to retake 7th grade ELA. But it does show up on your transcript as a no credit, which no one wants that, right? Okay, that was my spiel about grades. If you have any questions about grades, go ahead and let me know. Okay, I'm not seeing anything pop up. I would say pass this on to your friends, other 7th graders that haven't been engaging, that you know have been sitting around watching Gilligan's Island's reruns for the last 45 days of their life and haven't done a single thing. You should reach out to them and say, hey, by the way, you're going to have to retake Washington State history if you don't get your act together. And so I would ask your help in reaching out to students that you know are not engaging and pass on this little message. And so that we can try to get some more students passing before June 19th. June 19th is the cutoff. After that, it's all done. Okay, so I am asking your help with that. Please reach out to students that aren't engaging in coursework and tell them to get their rear end in gear so that we can have more. Right now, I have like 50% of 7th graders are not passing Washington State history, and that is a scary number to me as a teacher. And so I'm asking for your help in that. Okay. All right, you guys are all awesome. I mean it when I say I love looking at my screen and seeing everyone's images there. I hope you are all doing very well. I miss you. And if you have any questions, please reach out in chat or send me an email or however you can get a hold of me, guys, okay? Okay, so if you have no questions, you are free to go. This concludes our office hours.
Bye.
Hi, bye.